اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. O Allah, teach us what benefit us, increase us in knowledge, in good morals and in good deeds, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. We continue by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings and these reflections on the stories of the Qur'an. And we are still in the second story, which is the story of Sayyiduna Adam alayhi salam, the father of humanity and the first prophet and messenger alayhi salatu wassalam. And we talked about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the angels to make sujood, to greet and to show honor and respect to Sayyiduna Adam alayhi salam. And Iblis or Satan was not an angel, but he was in the rank of the angels because he was very obedient, very knowledgeable about Allah, very near. So he was included in that command of sujood. And as we mentioned, and as the Qur'an mentions in many ayat, that Iblis showed arrogance. Aba wastakbar. He rejected and he showed arrogance. Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. As in Surah Al-Baqarah, he rejected and showed arrogance and he was among the disbelievers. And subhanAllah, if we reflect on the Qur'an, we find this particular point of the story mentioned many times in the Qur'an. In many surah it's mentioned. And this repetition is for a purpose. Every ayah, every word, every letter in the Qur'an is mentioned for a purpose, in a specific place for a specific wisdom. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is repeating that part of the story that we are talking about. Of course, we talked about the many parts of the story, and we're trying to go in the chronological order, and we reach this point which is extremely important: the rejection of Iblis to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to make sujood to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. And the reason was his envy and his arrogance. Now we see some crimes and murders that take place these days. If we really think and reflect, we find that envy is one of those crimes and murders, is one of the main reasons behind it. A person, he envied his classmates because he's failing. He's failing his test. He got expelled from school. So he envied his friends. He wants to vent out this envy and he killed them. I think if we reflect, we find this is one of the reasons. And it's not far. Well, Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, even though his children were children of who? Of a prophet. Who are the children? Who are the brothers of Sayyidina Yusuf? Were they not the children of Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam or Israel alayhi salam? So this is why they are the children of Israel. Who's Israel? Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam. So those were children of a prophet. Yet they conspired to kill their own brother. Why? Because of envy. Yeah, they envied him. Our father, he prefers him, he loves him more, etc., etc. And we're going to talk about this at the end, inshallah, as a practical point for parents to how to deal with their kids. So, of course, then one of them, he said, no, we don't have to kill him. So let's just throw him in the well, right? And we know the very first crime or murder on earth. Cain killed Abel. Qabil killed Habil. Also a child of a prophet. A child of a prophet. He killed his brother. Why? Because he envied him. How Allah accepts from him and did not accept from me? How come he takes the beautiful girl and I don't take the beautiful one? I deserve her more because we were born together, etc., etc. Even though he knows this is forbidden in the Sharia of Sayyidina Adam, still he rejected Allah's commands and he showed that envy, right? So envy is a destructive sin and disease that is inflicting many societies, even in our own communities, even among the educated people. This disease is spread and common. And we talked about it a little bit last time, and inshallah today we try to conclude on this to move on to the next episode of the story of Sayyiduna Adam alayhi salam and his wife Hawa, Eve alayhi salam, with Satan, and how they lived in Jannah and how they left, etc. So before we move into that, we want to spend one more talk and episode on this disease, which is a very, very destructive disease. And Imam al-Ghazali radiallahu anhu, Hujjat al-Islam, in his Ihya, he says, know that hasad is of the very serious diseases of the hearts, and the diseases of the hearts cannot be treated except by knowledge and action. Ilm and amal. Ilm and amal. How he explains radiallahu anhu in a very amazing way, and subhanallah, really we need to study these works, we need to study these things so that really we know how to get rid of these diseases and how to educate ourselves and others. He says, Al-ilmu al-nafi'u li marad al-hasad, the beneficial knowledge for this disease of envy or jealousy is to know for sure, to know with certainty that hasad or envy or jealousy has harm on you in your religion and in your worldly life. It will harm you in both in this worldly life and in the hereafter, in your religion. And it doesn't have any harm, it will not cause any harm to the one that you're envying, neither in his religion nor in his worldly life. On the contrary, he will benefit from your envy in his worldly life and in the hereafter. This is the fact that we have to be aware of. This is common among children, common among classmates, common among many, every group of people. And he mentions this radiallahu anhu in this section of his Ihya. He explains this in details and brings you the reasons and the causes and the treatment. He's a great doctor of the hearts, radiallahu anhu Allah. One of the points he mentions that hasad is much more common among people who have a common profession. Why? Because they compete. Like you will find envy, for example, between a group of students. You will find envy among a group of real, what do they call it? Real estate realtors, right? Realtors. A group of realtors, the envy among them together will be more than between like a realtor and, let's say, a doctor. Why? Because a doctor and a realtor, they're not competing to reach the same thing, right? They have different goals, but in the same profession, in the same group, all of these people, they have the same goal. Like all of these students, they all want to reach to be number one in the classroom, whatever. So this is why the envy in a certain group will be more. And this helps you to treat and to find the ways to treat this disease. So the first point he's mentioning, radiallahu anhu, is that you have to know that envy will harm you in your life, in your worldly life and in your religion. And it will benefit the one that you're envying in his life and in his hereafter. He's saying when you really know this, he's saying, مهما عرفت هذا عن بصيرة. If you truly know this with an open sight, and if you're not the enemy of your own self and the friend of your enemy, then you have to leave this trait. You must leave it. Now he explains, radiallahu anhu, he says how it has harm on you in your religion. He said because, and we mentioned this a little bit last time, because when you're envying him, as if you're showing objection on Allah's qadr, as if you're showing you're not happy with what Allah has given that person. You think you should get it, he should not get it. This is what envy is, right? That you wish that this blessing that he's enjoying moves to you. As if you're accusing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his justice and his wisdom and his qadr. And what a bigger sin than this? What a bigger sin than this? وَنَاهِيكَ بِهِمَا جِنَايَةً عَلَى الدِّينِ. What a big sin to have, that you and he says هذه جناية على حدقة التوحيد. This is like a crime on the essence of Tawheed, the essence of your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's the wise, He's the just. SubhanAllah. If we really reflect on this, we should really completely avoid hasad. This in itself is enough. Then he says also it is harmful to you in your religion because you're not wishing good things for your brothers. The believer, as we mentioned last time, you will not be a true and perfect believer unless you love for your brothers what you love for yourself. So now you're wishing that what your brother has moves to you. You're doing exactly the opposite. So that is also against your religion and harming your religion. And you're sharing Iblis and the other disbelievers in that they love to the believers to fall into distress and problems and that their blessings will be gone. Right? This is what Satan hopes. Satan hopes and wishes that the blessing that the believer enjoys, that it is gone from him, right? That you lose this blessing. So you're also, when you're envying a believer, you're sharing Iblis in this trait. You're wishing that this blessing that your brother is enjoying, that he will lose it and it moves to you. SubhanAllah. And this is why he says, وَهَذِهِ خَبَائِثُ فِي الْقَلْبِ. These feelings and these wishes and these desires, they are vices in the heart that will eat the goods of the heart, the good deeds of the heart, the hasanat of the heart, just like the wood eats, just like the fire eats up the wood. And we mentioned this is a hadith from our beloved sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We mentioned it last time that hasad or envy or jealousy, it eats up your hasanat just like the fire eats up the wood. So that is in regard with the religion. You see, envy and jealousy is harmful to your religion. It's not good for your religion, not good for your iman. Now he's talking to you also in regard with the worldly things, in regard with the worldly life. It is also harmful to you. Why? Because you're just feeling that pain in your heart and your soul. You're being tortured in worries and concerns because of those people that you envied. You're hoping and wishing that Allah will take these blessings from them and maybe the opposite will take place. Allah will increase them. They are increased in the blessings and you are increased in the torture in your soul and your heart. That is exactly what envy does. You're burning. He's getting more. You see, people are praising him more. You see, he got a better job. You see, I was wishing he would lose his job. He got a better job, a better salary, a better house, a better. And what happens to you? You're just burning. So you're just disturbing your own life. فَتَبْقَى مَغْمُومًا مَحْرُومًا مُتَشَعِّبَ الْقَلْبِ. Your heart is fragmented here and there and you're not focused. SubhanAllah. That is the harm on your dunya. And he's saying, if you're smart enough, even if you don't believe in the hereafter, even if you're not religious, you should quit this trait because of you're not benefiting anything. You're only torturing your own soul. SubhanAllah. Look, he's talking to you from all ways. And this is how people who don't believe, we need to educate them with these things also. So he moves, radiallahu anhu, and says, أما أنه ضرر على المحسود في دينه ودنياه فواضح لأن النعمة لا تزول عنه بحسدك. And he's saying the one that you're envying will not be harmed by your envy because the ni'mah, the blessing that Allah gives to someone will not leave that person. He will not lose it because of your envy, but he will lose it when Allah's qadr comes. When the time that Allah set for that blessing to be removed, it will be removed. It will not be removed because of your envy. Because everything has its set time, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions. وَلَا يَكُونُ عَلَيْهِ إِثْمٌ فِي الْآخِرَةِ ولعلك تقول ليت النعمة كانت تزول عن المحسود بحسدي وهذا غاية الجهل فإنه بلاء تشتهيه أولا لنفسك. And also when you think this way, when you think that by your envy the blessing will be gone from that person, you're wishing this to yourself, because every person has some people to envy him. So he's saying it's foolish to think, look, subhanallah, wallahi, Allahu Akbar, how much wisdom and knowledge and logic. This is like a book of religion, but he's talking to you all with logic, with reason, with common sense, along with the Qur'an and the Sunnah. This is our great religion. It's all about logic and common sense and reason. It's not about like suspend your mind and just follow blindly. No, the Quran and Sunnah is full of and it is all about logic and reason. And this is why Allah always urges us to reflect and to think. Don't they think? Don't they reflect? Don't they understand? So listen what he's saying. He's saying it is foolish to think that when you envy someone, that blessing that one has, it will be gone from him because of your envy. Well, also people envy you. So if you wish this to happen, that will happen to the one that you're envying, this will happen to you also, because also people envy you. And non-believers envy the believers, as Allah mentions in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, وَدَّ كَثِيرٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يَرُدُّونَكُم مِّن بَعْدِ إِيمَانِكُمْ كُفَّارًا حَسَدًا مِّنْ عِنْدِ أَنفُسِهِمْ. That many of the people of the book, of the scripture, they wish that you turn away from your religion. Why? He's saying hasada, because of envy. Hasada min indi anfusihim, because of envy from their selves. Min ba'di ma tabayyana lahum al-haq, after the truth has been clear to them. So he's saying the non-believers, they wish and they envy you, and they wish that you leave the faith. So when you envy others, they will lose the blessing also, as if you're wishing also you will lose the blessing of Iman, which is the greatest blessing. So this is the ultimate ignorance and stupidity. He's saying that to think that just by envying this person he will lose that blessing that Allah has given him. Then he says the one who's envied will benefit from your envy in his religion and in his dunya. He said ينتفع بفواضح فأما منفعته في الدين. As for his benefit in regard with religion, because you have wronged him by these ill feelings, especially if you transfer and you translate this envy into words and actions. This envy sometimes moves out. And this is what happened in the story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Iblis did not keep that envy. What did he do? He rejected. He objected, and he also pledged and determined to lead the children of Sayyidina Adam astray. So he wanted to take revenge. And he also rejected to obey Allah. So that translated into actions. So this envy, most of the time, it will be translated into words. You envy this person. Now you want to put him down in the community, in the society, in his workplace. You're going to start backbiting him, mocking him, maybe making rumors about him. Why? Because you want to put him down. So now your envy is leading to words and actions. In this way, what's going on? What will he benefit? He's taking from your hasanat. He will take from your hasanat. Right? When you backbite someone, you mock someone, if they don't forgive you here, they will take from your hasanat there, as we all know in the hadith of the bankrupt that our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained and taught us. So this is like a gift you're giving to him, Imam al-Ghazali is saying. That you're gifting to him your hasanat. And you, on the day of judgment, you will meet Allah with bankruptcy, right? To be bankrupt. So that is how you're benefiting the one that you're envying. You're benefiting him, you're not harming him. And as for this world, أَمَّا مَنْفَعَتُهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا, he's saying, how do you benefit him in this world, in the worldly life? فهو أن أهم أغراض الخلق مساءة الأعداء وغمهم وشقاوتهم وكونهم معذبين مغمومين ولا عذاب أشد مما أنت فيه من ألم الحسد وغاية أمان أعدائك أن يكونوا في نعمة وأن تكون فيهم حسرة. That you're benefiting him because you will only reap regret and sorrow in your heart, and that will make him happy. That will make him happy. He will not get anything from you, he will not be harmed, and you did to yourself what they want. وَلِذَلِكَ لَا يَشْتَهِي عَدُوُّكَ مَوْتُكَ. And this is why your enemies will not desire you to die, but they desire that you live even long so that you will be tortured more in this envy that is burning inside your soul. SubhanAllah. All this I just got some of the ideas from Imam Ghazali's explanation on this, yet he has much more analysis and diagnosis of this disease and the treatment that he's talking about, and really that needs really many talks, but we're trying to be brief as much as we can, and we'll finish in these remaining 3 minutes. We'll wrap up some of the main points to help us really avoid and get rid of this disease, inshallah. So the first, if we put them in clear points, number one, الرضا بقضاء الله, to be pleased and satisfied with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you and gives others. And that is one of the main pillars, one of the pillars of Iman, right? Iman bil qada wal qadar, to be pleased with the qadar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to have qana'a. Qana'a means satisfaction, to be pleased with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. The second thing is to have certainty, and this is part of the belief that Allah can give you and give everyone else without His kingdom and sovereignty and treasures be decreased in any way, right? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives all creatures whatever they want, will that decrease Allah's treasures? Not in any way. Number three, that you have to know that this life is full of tests. Your poverty is a test. Your richness is also a test. And maybe richness is a more difficult test. Some people think that, these poor people, you don't know. Maybe you think you're fine and you're better, but maybe you're going in a more difficult test. I'll give you an example. When you're rich, there's more possibility that you do sins with these money that you have that a poor person doesn't have. When you're rich, you might think maybe to buy some drugs or some things, or to go to some clubs or whatever that do not please Allah. But a poor person will not maybe even think, because he does not even have money. He's only concerned to provide his food, right? So richness is a test, and poverty is a test. Cleverness is a test. Knowledge is a test. So all of these blessings that Allah has given us are tests. So you have to know that you are being tested with whatever Allah has given you, and people also are being tested in whatever Allah has given them. Number four, and a very precious advice from our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said in the hadith, in the advice to Sayyidina Abu Dhar, in the hadith narrated by Imam Tabrani and another narration by Imam Muslim, look at those who are below you, and don't look at those who are above you. فَإِنَّهُ أَجْدَرُ أَنْ لَا تَزْدَرِيَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. That is nearer that you will not underestimate Allah's blessings upon you. What a precious advice. And our sheikhs, they taught us this means in the worldly materialistic things, look at people below you. You have 2 bedrooms and you're annoyed, you want a bigger house. Well, look, the people living in the streets. My daughter the other day, my wife, she made like marrow, she made for dinner marrow and with tomato sauce and bread together. And my daughter, she said, only bread and marrow with the soup. I said, what? Say Alhamdulillah. We have our brothers and sisters in eastern Ghouta, in the countryside of Damascus. They're under siege for years. We told her, your cousin and your uncle, they eat dry bread. They don't even find the bread sometimes. So look always in these materialistic things, look at people who are below you, so that you recognize the blessings that Allah has given you. While in regard with the religion, look at people above you. You're praying Fajr on time. Well, look, that brother prays Fajr in the masjid. You pray Fajr in the masjid, look at that brother, he wakes up before Fajr, half an hour. You read one page of Qur'an, that brother, he reads 2. So this is how you look at these things. We'll finish with a hadith. Of course, all what we mentioned is, as Imam Ghazali, this is the theoretical treatment. As for the practical treatment, he said, is very better. It's like the better medicine. But he said, you bear the better medicine, right? The better medicine to get the remedy. He said, you have to strive against yourself. And those things that are making you envy your brother, if, for example, you envy him because of his position and you feel that you don't like him, go and give him a gift. This is the practical. He said, if you understood this theoretical knowledge that envy is harmful, then you have to get rid of this by practical steps. Like this person, you don't like him and you envy him, go and give him a gift. You show arrogance and you don't like to be like learning from him, go and humble yourself to him. Humble yourself to him. My evil commanding self sometimes tells me, like, look at this sheikh or this imam, look, people are attending his class, look, he is mashallah. Then what do? I go and I sit in his class. I go and I sit like the other people and learn. That is better on the self, but that is, if you're sincere to treat yourself from this disease, that's what you have to do. We'll finish with the misk, as they say, miskul khitam, the misk of the ending. This hadith from our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam that is warning us of this disease. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the disease of the nations before you has creeped to you. The disease of the nations before you, the communities before you, is creeping to you. Means is coming to your community and afflicting you. And it is al-haliqa. He said, it is the shaver. Then he says, it doesn't shave the hair, but it shaves the religion. It shaves the faith. Look at this simile that he's giving, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This hasad, it shaves the faith. We mentioned how it shaves the faith and how it shows that your faith has a big problem. He said that is envy and hatred. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach us what benefit us, increase us in knowledge, in good morals and in good deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who listen to this speech and follow its best. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. May Allah give relief to our brothers and sisters who are suffering everywhere. Allahumma farrij anil muslimin. Oh Allah, give them relief and support. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. You know their situations and you know their names and places. Change their situation into a better situation. Ya Arhamar Rahimin. And give them victory over their oppressors and occupiers and aggressors. Ya Rabbal Alameen. And guide us and make us guides to others. وصلي اللهم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Yalla ta'ala, our habit to make some nasheed on the Friday night. For those who would like to stay, we'll have a quick Asma Allah al-Husna, Allah's names, by these two girls, beautiful girls, of course, my daughters. So, Bismillah. We'll hear some of Asma Allah al-Husna, then I'm gonna share also a short nasheed with you, inshallah.
يلا 1 2 3 نسألك
يا من هو الله الذي لا إله
ما شاء الله بارك الله فيكم ما شاء الله جزاكم الله خيرا ما شاء الله يلا إن شاء الله next time you do the other part ما شاء الله بارك الله فيكم لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله طرقت باب الرجاء والناس قد رقدوا وبت أشكو إلى مولاي ما أجد لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جزاك الله خيرا بارك الله فيك